Welcome friends, it's Ray. Thank you so much for joining me today. In today's video, I am making 2 cards using the March Hero Arts card kit. Okay, I've taken the padding out of my MISTI because I'm going to use this rubber stamp. And this is the fruit stamp from the kit. Just placing that down, picking it up with the door of my MISTI. And now I want to prep this for heat embossing. Alright, so I used my anti-static powder and bringing in my Versamark ink to ink this up. I'm using a 110-pound Neenah Solar White cardstock. I saw Jennifer McGuire do this technique and she recommended using not using watercolor paper. I'm going to ink this up once more. It's really hard to tell whether you got good coverage because it's clear and you can't really see it. Sometimes when you slant it a certain way in the light, you can see it, but I tried that just now and I couldn't see it. So let's just give it another go. Okay, hopefully third time's a charm. Look, use some white embossing powder. I'm going to be using Alabaster White by Brutus Monroe. And this is a fine detail embossing powder. So that's going to give me really good coverage. Okay, I can see it, yay! Looks like a decent stamp. So I used my heat tool to emboss or heat my panel. I will link to my unboxing of this kit in the description bar below in case you're interested. So here I'm going to bring in my Pumpkin Oxide ink, Distress Oxide ink, and I'm going to just blend that on my panel and concentrating darkly on the bottom, and we'll go lighter on the top. Get my Post-it note. So I'm just going to turn this Post-it note over and use the sticky side to hold my paper in place so that I don't get fingerprints on my design here. And without re-inking, I am just going to blend this out and fade it out. Okay, take a little of this color and just bring it in right about here. Okay, and leave this portion lighter at the top. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to bring in my water brush and what I want. And a paper towel, just a clean paper towel. And just a regular water brush. Let me clean this off first. Okay. All right. So with my water brush, what I want to do is I want to go around the background to each orange and add a little water and then let it set for just a second and then blot it dry. Okay, so just clean my brush in between. And so what I'm doing basically is lifting the ink from my oranges. And it creates a cool effect. So it just lightens your image with the orange. This doesn't look like an orange, but it might be. I'm not sure. Kind of looks like an orange, but I'm not 100% sure. But since it looks like an orange, I'm going to lift some of that ink. So this is just a simple way to lift and make those oranges stand out on this background. Not going to do as much for those that are already light, but we'll give it a go anyway. Okay, let's get this one. Yeah, that does look like an orange now. Okay. Ooh, that looks really good. And so I want to go over these maybe 2 times each and just lift a little more of that color. And as Jennifer said in her video, you could, if you wanted to, you could lift this ink onto another panel and maybe use that as a background. Okay, so just a little bit more here and here. I don't think that one's going to stand out too much because it's lighter. Okay, but you can see the cool effect. All right, so now we want to dry this. Clean off my brush. I'm going to use my heat tool to just speed up the drying. You can set it aside to dry on its own. Okay, I don't want to heat this too much because I don't want to remelt my embossing powder. So I am heat embossing my oranges, and I've stamped that with VersaFine Onyx Black ink and used clear embossing powder. I'm bringing in my Spectrum Noir Tri-Blend brush markers, and I'm using the burnt orange blend and the light color to just color in my orange all in the light color. And then I will bring in the medium to outline and darken my orange, and I will leave a little bit of a peak of light color to accent my orange. I'm bringing in the mid-tone on the burnt orange to outline the rim of my sliced orange. Then I'm bringing in my gold yellow blend I started a little darker than I want it. Then I bring in my gold yellow blend because I want this inside to be much lighter. I do go outside of the line a little bit, but I will show you in a bit how I fix that. So now I'm bringing in my light green blend of marker to color my leaf, and I've colored the entire leaf using the light, and then I will add the dark where the stamp lines are, and then use the light again to blend that out. Now here is where I bring in my white gel pen to fix where I've gone outside of the lines. And you'll notice that I did color that other slice of orange. And I did that off camera, and that's because I've decided at this point that I'm not going to use it. But I do go in later just to go make that rind on it darker, and then I will set that aside and save it for another project. Gonna come in with my mid-tone just in this area. Yeah, this is the burnt orange. I'm gonna blend that in, or out, I should say. Yeah, like that better. My leaf dried back a little lighter than I want it, so I'm going over it with my light green dark blend. Okay, I'm bringing in my A7 layering dies by Waffle flour, and we'll cut out, I think, portion of my panel. I think I want this. Using my micro pour low tack tape to hold that in place, and I'll run this through my die cutting machine and cut out my oranges. Okay, I am placing a scrap piece of vellum in my Misty. Okay, we're going to use Squeeze the Day. We'll prep this for heat embossing. It's my anti-static powder tool, and we will use white embossing powder. I have a cube of unicorn white pigment ink. I'm going to use that. Okay. Well, that looks good. I'm going to do it once more though, just because I'm embossing. I do the actual heat embossing off camera for this card. I've cut out my oranges using the coordinating die from the kit, and then I've cut out 2 blanks, and here I'm using craft tacky glue to affix those together, and will place my acrylic block on top to make sure everything adheres. Place double-sided foam tape on the back of my focal panel, and now I'm mounting that to my Kiwi colored cardstock. And I forgot to turn my camera on when I added my Vellum sentiment to my card panel, but I just taped that on the back before adding my foam tape. Placed my main panel onto a white cardstock, and then I'm affixing my orange piece here to the front of my panel. And then right about there is where I decide I want less white space, or I should say more orange. I think I need to highlight this panel a little more. So I'm going to pull that up off of this card base. Before I do, I'm just going to add an orange embellishment that came in the kit right here to the sentiment. Here is where I decide and place that another mat that's orange. I think this spotlights the panel a lot better. Then I will affix this to my card base, and I like the way this orange makes it stand out better. Let me know in the comments what you think. Did you like the first panel better, or you like this one with the additional orange layer better? Here I'm bringing in my pops of color in lemon chiffon and adding 3 of those dots throughout the panel. Closer look at the panel so that you can see the color lifting. You can see how that highlights the image or the background. For my second card, I am making this, or I've made this mainly offline. I used an embossing folder from Simon Says Stamp. I also used Canary cardstock from Hero Arts. For the bottom portion, I stamped the buffalo check background stamp from Hero Arts, and have just affixed that to my panel, as well as bananas from the kit that I used my tri-blend brush markers to color. And then I have a sentiment that I've stamped and cut out with my scan and cut, and cut out a shadow layer for it. So I'm just going to go ahead and assemble my card. I added my panel to a black mat and affixed that to my card base. I've affixed all of my elements to my card, and then we'll bring in my Nouveau crystal drops in ebony black and add 3 drops in the top portion of my panel. I like this gender neutral card. I was thinking of my husband when I made this card. Now let's take a closer look at both cards I made in today's video. The Slimline card and the A7 5x7 card. I hope you liked the video today. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. Until next time, good day, friends.